globally integrated village environments.
Oh.
They knew how to manage that. And therefore they could make open source food by improving seeds. They had kinds of experimental labs, automatic experimental labs for adapting the seeds, their food stuff to changing climatic conditions. They had a kind of information-based landscape planning to use all the free energy given by sunlight, rain, wind, biomass, and so on. And they managed it quite good. But the problem is, it's very hard to investigate that, because then came in the Spaniards and they made restrictions on the Incas, yes. But imagine that Genghis Khan would have sent his Mongols to Silicon Valley and they would describe that.
Yes.
They won't understand very much the same about this technology.
Mm-hmm. They would miss much of the culture. They would not.
Yeah, there's many to be investigated with scientific means like compass. John Earls was the expert. He's professor in Peru. He has measured Moirai, the biocomputer, as we would say. Very, very advanced methodology of biological farming to feed the cities. And those cities are self-sustaining cities.
Have you been studying this yourself for some time?
Yes. I proposed that this idea in VF1, global ecology change competition here in Europe with that idea.
Oh. What aspects of the Incan culture do you think are most relevant to us today?
Environmental cybernetics they had, because it's absolutely new, a technology based on kind of hothouses heated by sun energy, because they have stored the sun heat with water tanks and then protected their fields against frost and so on, so they could raise substantially the yield per acre. And the second was the knowledge-based landscape design to make it all running.
Terracing, for example, farming, aqueducts perhaps?
Aqueducts,
yeah.
Yes. But if I can use the messenger, I can send you some pictures.
Sure, yeah, let's take a look.
Okay.
The Incas had a large experimental crop development, and they circulated small amounts of crop, distributed them to their cities with some measurement of optimal climatic conditions. So that is the dimension in which they worked, and that was combined with a very sophisticated information system.
Was this an experiment of theirs, or was this...
This is an experimental...
This was the main experimental mill. But the point is that all the climatic conditions of the whole province were simulated in, so the breeding and selection for maize worked absolutely automatically. So maize is crossing in by wind, and these terraces are designed in such a way that by an evolutionary process, only the crops designed for this or that place will grow there. So that's the first automatic crop breeding machine.
Wow. Did they simulate the conditions for different bioregions? Like, for example, did they grow crops specifically for high mountainous regions and other?
Yes, high and other ecological zones. For each ecological zones, the crops were adapted by such a crop mill.
Oh, wow. And these facilities grew crops for many different bioregions in one facility?
Yes. That's the trick.
Wow. So this was like an agricultural university almost.
Right.
Wow.
Here you can see Uwe's 200-page report in which he has just delivered to the Austrian Institute of Risk Management. Academy of Science. This is really seriously recognized, and more than that, Uwe is recognized as a world-class researcher by the Peruvian National Science Council, where he gave a speech with the help of our wiki as presentation medium. So he has practically also the Peruvian consent to do a World Bank program for that, a research program. The interesting thing is the findings were possible because Uwe knew my theory of global villages, and he applied it. Through the eyes of the theory, it was possible to recognize that. He was with a scientist who said, this is exactly how we would build an agricultural genetic breeding station, natural breeding, germ plasm production, not genetic technology, but simply environmentally filtered, adapted germs.
Yeah, an environment.
If we had the money. The European Union does not give us the money to do something expensive like that. And then he said, wow, that's my dream. I always wanted that to come true. And then Uwe said, okay, I can imagine if that worked the way global villages work, then the whole culture can be explained. And the Inca gold is not gold as the Spanish thought, because they were confronted with such a lavish culture. They thought they must have tons of gold somewhere. But it was simply their wealth built on information exchange, sharing of information. So everywhere there was sane, clean, abundant agriculture. And it worked because it was an information-based culture.
Was this a long-time project for them, for the Incans? Is there evidence that it has been around for many generations?
Yes. The most interesting thing that Uwe recognized is the Inca culture came about after an urban culture of vast dimensions destroyed the ecosystem. The Inca culture is the follower of another older culture that ruined the environment. That's the ruins of the pre-Inca culture that was so similar to ours.
That destroyed the environment.
That destroyed the environment basically by destroying the retention forests around the cities, which held the water.
So there's a 32-year drought in the 6th century. It must have inspired a few people to think about other alternatives. Long-term decline.
Yes. Exactly. Here you go.
When did this more ecologically evolved culture appear?
In the 12th century, Anno Domini.
12th century. It says here there was a long-term decline commencing in 950.
Yes, afterwards, after that.
After that?
The Inca civilization began, but not as an empire. The empire began with the Ice Age. But the Inca, pre-imperial Inca, seem to have developed a technology to reconstruct the environment.
So the reconstruction of the environment began during the Little Ice Age? Or just before the before the Ice Age? Before.
After the end of the drought.
I see.
After the end of the long-term decline. From 1980 idea to the end about 1200 AD. So there were 300 years. Yeah.
Was this the culture that the Spanish ran into?
The Spanish conquest in 1532 had as a result decline of the rainfall. You see here after the peak. So during the Inca rule, there was a peak in rainfall because this chart shows is a rainfall record by means of ice cores. So you see here the ecological damages of the Spanish colony.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty dramatic.
So that's the tip of the iceberg.